My name is Taha Barwahwala, and I'm contesting for the General Secretary Students Welfare Board. So in my journey here at IIT Guwahati, I've worked with a very diverse set of people, why a lot of you here are familiar faces. But for others, and for those watching through the live stream that CBS has been very kind to arrange, I'd like to give you a brief glimpse of my journey here, because in the end, you're going to vote for a person and not mere words on paper. Currently, I'm an undergraduate student, pre-final year in the Department of Physics. I'm currently the intern secretary of my department. I have been a member of the Gymkhana in 2014-15 as the secretary of the Radio G Club. In that year, we covered a lot of events and even introduced one or two of my own. I have worked with the Modern United Nations teams, both the editions, so I'm familiar with the dogma and the process of policy making and the rigor and the level of detail that goes into it. As for my Association Welfare Board, I have been the undergraduate TA for PH 101 in the same year, 2014. So starting on that note, remedial classes, which is one of the big initiatives of Students Welfare Board, the main intent, as I see, is to inculcate the confidence, to return the confidence to students that they can solve problems. And what better place to do that than tutorials? Now, currently, remedial classes are separate, but I would propose that undergraduate TAs be allowed to act as TAs in the freshman courses. Now, in the freshman courses, it's a huge enrollment and it's difficult to have manpower. And this particular suggestion that including undergraduate TAs in tutorials, this will allow to have something of a flipped classroom with the required manpower. And again, this has an added benefit of interaction in a controlled environment. This year, remedial classes were conducted in the hostels, which according to me was a very pragmatic move. But the turnout was not as good as expected. From the feedback that I've received talking to multiple people, improving the coordination on some level with the welfare secretaries can be a solution to this. Speaking on a broader note, including the welfare secretaries in the Students Welfare Board, more fully integrating them into the Students Welfare Board can be a huge advantage. They can be of immense help to all the club activities that the Students Welfare Board conducts, be it Sathi, be it academic initiatives, because the hostel welfare secretaries are directly in touch with the freshmen. They directly know, they can identify the unique needs of each person, be it academic, be it behavioral, anything. The mentor-mentee program, which it is a stellar example. If a lot of you might know that it has been very successful this year. So this is an example, and even in the beginning, a lot of fresher activities that were done, they were done in participation of the HMC. So this is a stellar example of all that we can achieve by integrating the HMC and especially the hostel welfare secretaries into the activities of Students Welfare Board. Moving on to medical services. If I ask around, I'm sure a lot of you, not a lot of, but some of you have directly faced or witnessed medical emergencies, and we have at some level experienced that there is a lack of coordination. So I propose that we have within the current medical staff, we have an emergency response staff that can coordinate between the two major hospitals that we have in our vicinity, the Narayana and GNRC. Within the current medical staff, the emergency response team can coordinate so that there is no bureaucratic delays or anything of that sort. Since we're talking about hospitals, we talk about the automation of medical records, the digitization, which is something that is currently in the pipeline. The appointment system is currently in the pipeline. And again, when we talk about medical records, we have very regular medical camps that are conducted every month with the help of hospitals from outside. So but they are on a first come, first serve basis, very limited basis. If we could scale up those medical camps and cover all the campus janta, we could use the data from those tests to compile a very updated and comprehensive medical history of each student, which can then be digitized and automated. Speaking of automation, I would like to commend the current Gymkhana. A lot of things have been automated, but a lot of things where there is a scope. Speaking of follow-ups, transportation. A lot of big schemes have been in the pipeline. For example, GPS tracking of buses, green rickshaws, repurposing of old bicycles. I intend to follow up on them with the utmost priority. There's the multipurpose facility, which was mentioned by Mr. Narayan. which has been approved in SAC meetings, but needs to be followed up. Then again, there is something that is a very recent development. There is a utilization of space between the hostels by opening up mini outlets, mini shops that could cater to different needs. We have seen that since the opening of food court and CCD, those have become hubs of activity, and we could utilize space in between the hostels in this way. So on a more general note, with the introduction of the Senate, we are moving from an executive system to a more parliamentary, a more democratic system. And in this transformative phase, the current Gymkhana has done a lot of work and done very good work. I would like to commend them on that. And I intend to follow up on these steps because, you see, following a bottom-up approach and empowering the framework, empowering the system itself is the way that I see ahead. This is just a glimpse of all that, of the ways in which my broader vision of a framework which can stand on its own, which has a system of checks and balances of its own. This is something that I read recently, which I guess some of you would agree with. A good manager is one whose team can work in its absence. And a system as important as the Student Gymkhana should not rely on the willpower of one person. So that's it from my side for now. I'm open to constructive criticism, comments, suggestions, questions, anything, please.
Yeah, any questions from the audience, please?
You have mentioned regarding the upgradation of medical services in hospital, right?
Yes.
Have you done any exercise of what facilities are currently being provided, and what exactly you meant by the upgradation, like express upgradation you meant to say?
I mean, I have to do a survey, but there are some things that have come up in the discussions that are, for example, the second floor.
Maybe you can mention the current facilities, and maybe you can. If you
sure,
have
sure. I would take that up. Sure, I would do the survey and medical survey. But that is a short-term solution I have proposed is coordination with the two hospitals. Long-term solution would be upgrading the medical facilities that we have. As you know, it's not a hospital.
What are the facilities you think are right now available?
Yes, that would be taken up in the survey. There is specific detail.
Any other question from the audience?
Can you please name the clubs under Welfare Board?
There is the Rights and Responsibilities Club, there is the Social Services Club, there is the Academic Initiatives, there is there is Sathi, the Counseling Service, there is, did I mention Social Services Club? Social Services Club. Rights and Responsibilities, Social Services, Red Ribbon, I think I mentioned them all.
So there are 6 clubs, but
Yes.
you have mentioned only about 4 clubs, and there are 2 clubs missing in your agenda. What would be your take on those two clubs?
My take is that they have done a lot of work this year, and I mentioned all the clubs in a more general note that I would like to take since the activities that are taken up by these clubs are very important, we should, the activities currently are taken up on institute level. But coordinating with the HMC, doing more things at an hostel level, that is something that I envision for all the clubs and not just for the 1 or 2 clubs that I mentioned.
So what do you think is the mandate of Red Ribbon Club? And
Red Ribbon Club, it is for spreading awareness about HIV/AIDS. And on that mandate, they have done a lot of work this year. They have organized peer education program and lectures, as far as I'm aware, workshops. Continuing on a similar line, if I do not have anything to add to what they are already doing, I have not mentioned that in my agenda. My agenda has been kept concise to include only where I see significant additions.
And also I would like to know your view on the Social Service Club mandate and what would be their roles during your tenure if you are elected as Gensec Welfare.
As far as I'm aware, Social Services Club is mandated to function inside the campus while NSS functions outside the campus. So Social Services Club has been doing a lot of work within the campus, and I intend to continue with that.
So I just wanted to know what is your view on NSS and Social Service Club? Because we have these two bodies differently in our campus. So what is your view? What those particular bodies should act and what they should do?
I think those mandates are currently already defined. NSS works outside the campus, Social Services Club works inside the campus.
Fine, thank you. And I wanted to ask you about the mentor-mentorship program.
Yes.
So I was the welfare secretary of Calming Hostel last time, and
Yes.
I was a part of mentor-mentorship program.
Yes.
I handled it.
Yes.
Though I handled it, I felt ki it is not sufficient to make the relation between a fresher and a mentor that good. So what other activities do you want to implement in the mentor-mentorship program to make this existing program in a much better way?
As you mentioned, the mentorship program is being taken up by HMCs, and the general feedback that I've received, that has been very successful. There have been multiple meetings there have been multiple meetings, and beyond, like after 1 or 2 meetings are held, students generally start to open up, and they interact with their mentees regarding any problem they have. As an addition to this program, of course, something that I have in mind, that is I mentioned in my agenda as well, sensitizing the mentors towards the academic needs of their of the mentees. I think
Sorry,
at a department
I
level.
didn't understand what it means exactly.
Okay. There are some departments are having mentor-mentee programs at the department level. Okay, so they work for academic needs. This can be integrated into the current mentor-mentee program that we have. The selection of mentors can be done so that they can take care of the particular academic needs.
So I want to just indicate one instance which happened in my hostel.
Sure, please do.
There was a fresher who was very weak in ACADS.
Okay.
So at the time of exams, he wanted to talk to his mentor. And his mentor was very good in ACADS, but he couldn't manage his time with mentee telling him all the things. And the mentor himself came and said that I can't help him out in everything, but I can guide him. What are you thinking this particular thing, what you are saying, is going to help in, and how are you going to provoke the mentors to help mentees in academic part?
Currently,
Because the only concern is even the mentors need some time to prepare for themselves for their particular CATs.
So yes, we could have a more rigorous training program for the mentors, if that is what you are suggesting.
I am asking what you are suggesting for the program.
Currently, the mentors are selected by the welfare secretary. Yes. So in that process, and after that, in April, they have training sessions with the counselor, as far as I'm aware. Yes. So we could, during that period, we could have training for this purpose as well, for sensitizing during academic needs as well. As for the specifics, I'm here to figure them out.
Fine, thank you.
So on behalf of Rights and Responsibility Club,
Yes.
How do you want to improve the voting percentage in these elections, Gymkhana elections?
Voting percentage in these elections. As I see the scenario currently, I don't think voting percentage is going to be an issue, but
Yeah, we have 2 minutes.
I
left.
would commend the work of the election officers in this matter, because it has been, a lot of activities are being done. CBS is streaming this live currently, so even those who are, who are not willing to come to Audi, they are seeing this, and this sensitizes them in the matter of elections. As far as, I think I suggested this, but due to time constraints, this could not be held this time. If we could take the campaigning through the election office to the hostels, because only one central event plus an online Facebook group is a narrow window, considering the number of participants and the gravity of the elections. So this is something that I proposed in a meeting yesterday, but due to time constraints, this could not happen this time. But I'm sure that the next election committee will take this up.
All right. Do we have any other question? So we have 1 minute and 15 seconds left.
Yes.
Are you aware of the institute's GMIS policy? What is GMIS?
GMIS is the insurance scheme that we
What
have.
is the premium generally collected?
It's 100 rupees per semester, if I'm not wrong.
1,500 per year.
1,500 per year. Oh, sorry for that.
So Bhaiya, I had this huge discussion on Facebook with the CEO about basically how the elections should be, right? So I was of the opinion that I think social media campaigning, if it is there, it should in fact decrease whatever little door-to-door campaigning that is happening. And I think, that is far more dangerous. If you give people more power to campaign, perhaps they would be doing less things in the dark and more things in the light. What are your opinions about this? Because I think...
Exactly my point. The current, but see, since time constraints were there, we could only have like one institute level event and discussions campaigning on social media. And I think the Lingdo committee was mentioned in the discussions, where it was mentioned that it should be kept strictly an internal matter. And social media is a fine line, which is where it crosses from internal matter to external matter, which is why we have an Insight Club. But yes, providing more opportunities, I'm all for that, providing more opportunities for campaigning and providing opportunities for campaigning within the hostels, which could not be done for time constraints, but this should be something that should be done. This was done previously, and this should be done.
I mean, previous
So
years.
time is already up. Can we have the last? If you want to really ask a question.
It's all right.
Yes, sure. So there is one question on the portal that I need to ask. Like these questions have been asked from the senators. I guess you are the right person to answer this question. How can you improve the quality of doctors in ITG hospital?
The quality of doctors, this is something that I have discussed with the current welfare secretary. The welfare board does not have, it has only recommendation powers to the medical services, and there are some regulatory constraints on including doctors. But as far as availability of doctors is concerned, we could an empowerment system is already in the pipeline. As far as quality is concerned, a complaint booking system can also be included in the automation program that is currently underway.
Yeah, okay. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.